Mr. Touré, Mr. Maras, Mr. Wari, Mr. Gambardella, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to join you in Rome and an honor to speak at this distinguished meeting. Thank you very much for the invitation. First of all, as you mentioned, I would like to repeat it again that Turkey was one of the 89 signatories of the new ITRs. Yesterday, and on the day before yesterday, I joined another international meeting in Istanbul. The participants were generally from the Middle East and Asia. I made a speech during one of the panels. Turkey is the most east of the West and most west of the East simultaneously. Therefore, here too, I will make a very similar speech with minor modifications. Internet and its governance is moving increasingly into the public eye. This is a part due to the fact that the Internet has become such a source of power globally. It states perceive it as in their existential interest to shape the form of its development and governance. The various global actors have different goals and different strategies to achieve them. Today, Internet seems to be at the top of everybody's agenda. Many different players on the ICT ecosystem, from governments to private sector and civil society, all have an equally important role to play in shaping one of the man's greatest innovations. I think this was evident at the WICET in Dubai last December. This high-level conference not only received extraordinary attention from the media and public, but member states themselves sent hundreds of representatives to discuss and contribute to global communications issues. We all know that the WICET is only the latest in a series of ongoing international talks of Internet governance. There is still the WTPF in Geneva this May. Preparations for the 2015 visits have already begun. At these forums and elsewhere, stakeholders will tackle issues including affordable access, cybersecurity threats, and spam. There is also an institutional challenge in scaling existing organizations to represent Internet users around the world. WICET came at the incredibly important moment in the Internet's evolution, bringing along unprecedented public and media attention. The political gaps that became increasingly evident at the conference, like East versus West, new versus old. There are still 4.5 billion people who don't yet have Internet. As access becomes universal, the Internet will be transformed in ways that are hard to imagine, but that will keep on making it richer. In fact, although largely portrayed as battle over Internet, WICET aimed to resolve some of the most pressing issues troubling the communication field for a quarter of a century. In general terms, the new ITRs are better than the 1988 version. Although the improvements are purely declarable, they recognize some important issues. I think the best outcomes of WICET in Dubai were that the revised ITRs maintained the multi-stakeholder environment to the best extent possible, ensured the resulting ITRs reflect high-level principles that are updated to meet today's environment, kept technology neutral, and does not mandate items that could have detrimental effect on the Internet evolution and stability. This massive victory is now being construed as a failure by non-signatory countries. I have difficulty to understand it. Actually, the main issue we have to deal with is policy generation for Internet governance instead of focusing on generating new revenue from the Internet. I would like to focus on policy generation rather than the revenues generation by looking at the what we mean by Internet governance, why do we need it, how should we govern it, Who should be in charge and where should these issues be handled? There are 5 major questions. The what? What is really meant by internet governance and what is the goal? The why, intentions and objectives of internet governance policies. The how, analysis of the multi-stakeholder governance model. The who should be in charge? The where, in what setting in the internet governance policies be discussed, adopted and implemented. Internet and governance. These 2 terms were first used by the researchers in the mid-90s at Harvard University. The WSIS roughly defines internet governance as the development and application of shared principles that shape the internet. This is a rather broad definition which has not satisfied the global ICT community. The internet governance regime is complex. It involves many issues, actors, mechanisms, procedures, and instruments. It is multidisciplinary nature and encompasses a variety of aspects, including socioeconomics, development, law, and politics. Let me clarify that internet governance is not a sole governmental exercise. It is a procedure for administration involving principles, policies, rules, and processes that are shaped by social norms, markets, infrastructure, architecture, and technology. There are a series of disparate issues at stake here: ITU and internet governance, multi-stakeholderism, new generic TLDs, privacy concerns, for instance, tracking, surveillance, cybersecurity, human rights, freedom of expression, censorship, cybercrime, cyber wars, new technologies. When looking at these issues, I believe we need to define borders between internet governance and ICT governance. Whether directly or indirectly, internet governance decisions affect all of us. With the globalization and commercialization of the internet, there is a greater need for change, for accountability, for more formalized management structure to deal not only with the dissatisfaction from a lack of competition, but also in resolving trademark and domain name conflicts. To date, the internet has been a shared economy, thriving on the multi-stakeholder governance model. This model has brought business, civil society, governments, and research institutions together to make decisions and implement solutions. I'm sure we can all agree that this model has to be maintained. There are several layers for which principles of internet governance must account for, and they include the followings: property, domain names, digital copyright, security, privacy, cybercrime, e-signature, network security, jurisdiction, domain names, cultural diversity, dispute resolution, free speech, public morals, infrastructure, for instance, digital divide, IP-based networking, domain names, broadband, wireless, ubiquitous computing, monetary authority, taxation, money laundering, e-banking, e-finance, relations between person and state, for instance, privacy, taxation, electronic ID, foreign commercial relations, privacy, digital divide, market access, relation between private parties, e-signature, spam, privacy again, dispute resolution, consumer protection. When we look at in the who question, we need to consider the roles of public and private sectors. Who makes the decision and who is in charge of the management processes? In other words, who has the power of and the control? Is it unilateral or multilateral? Who will control the internet names and numbers? Who will control the management of DNS route? Who will control the enum route? The internet should remain an autonomous entity where no one person, company, organization, or government has the power to run it. As a global distributed network comprising many voluntarily interconnected networks, it operates without a central governing body. Internet governance should be transparent, democratic, multi-stakeholder, and multilateral. For the where question, the ambiguity in this area arises when we seek to establish the setting in which Internet governance policies should be discussed, adopted, and implemented. The global and interconnected nature of the Internet play a major role in this discussion. Some of the questions we can consider to overcome these ambiguities are: what is the role of a country? What do countries want from the digital developments? Is a country consumer, full player, or something between? Where does needed education and development and money come from? How will standards process be timely and effective for all concerned? How will new Internet applications be developed and deployed? What are the sovereignty issues? Here, I think it is safe to say that any institution or organization addressing the Internet must account the legitimacy, transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness of its governance. When we have so many new Internet issues at hand, I think we should concentrate on the objective to have the power to preserve, protect, and improve the Internet as a robust structure, an elite regime in power, an ideological system, an economic system having a new Internet business model, a way of life. Thank you very much.